Sioux Falls Christian is into the State A tournament, and now the only team that beat them and the only team in Class A that has yet to lose has their chance to dance in 2 weeks in Rapid City. Welcome to the SODAK 16 in Madison for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Zach Borg, Brian Stabner, and our producer Colin Warren, as we're set to get you Game 2 of this SODAK 16 doubleheader. The number one ranked team all season, essentially, after they beat Sioux Falls Christian. West Central, coached by the legend Dave Hollenbeck, who won more than 500 games at St. Thomas More. He's got a chance to go back out West River if he gets a win tonight. For West Central, the Trojans looking to punch their ticket to the state tournament with a win over Webster Area. This West Central team has been impressive all year. They have one of the deepest lineups, one of the biggest men in the class in Will Cool, and it's going to be a tall task for a Webster Area team that's looking to get back to the state tournament for the first time since 1982, Brian Stabner.
Should be a fun matchup here tonight. West Central kind of led by the duo of Cool and Mebius as they go, West Central goes. But for Webster, they got a lot of guys that are double-figure scorers. They got a little bit of size, so we'll see how well they can match up with them tonight.
Yeah, this is a team that is a bear to get through, and the coach of Webster Area, Matthew Leonard's admitting that it's a very aggressive defensive unit, and it's just so difficult to simulate the pressure, and that's what head coach Dave Hollenbeck was known for at St. Thomas More, and it's impossible to simulate what you're going to see from this group.
Yeah, you're never going to be able to simulate that in practice, especially if you don't have the same depth and size and physicality as a team. That's something really hard to do in practice. We'll see if they can handle that pressure early on.
Well, when we talk about Will Cool and Connor Mebius, Cool, by the way, heading to Northern State. The senior 6'10", who averaged 13 points per game last season. But they also have a 6'5" senior in Colt Gary, who's pretty good. Boucher Knight, a pretty good spark plug junior guard, as well as Hayden Heyer, and they have some good players off the bench as well. So a very deep and well-rounded team. But this Webster Area team has some good size on its front line as well. And they're going to try and pull what would be maybe the biggest upset since we started this SODAK 16 format several years ago. Let's take a look at the Webster Area starting lineup. Some familiar, at least one familiar last name I think people are going to recognize. Seth Lesnar, who has a brother, by the way, named Ace. I haven't been able to get the exact relation, but they do believe he's a distant relation to one Brock Lesnar, who also came from Webster. He was more of a wrestler, if you had perchance heard of that guy by the name of Brock Lesnar. The rest of the starting lineup, Seth, by the way, is a 5'10" sophomore guard. His brother's a freshman who comes off the bench, is actually 6 foot, so some good size, like I said, mentioned. Seth averaging 12 points a game. He is their second leading scorer. Jaron McCreary, a 6'2" senior forward, averages 9 points and 5 boards a game. Gage Wick, their tallest player on the team, 6'5" center, senior, averages 6 points, 5 boards a game. Jack Shoemaker, a 6'3" senior forward, averages 11.5 points, 6 boards a game. And their top scorer, Matthew Mount, a 6'1" forward, averages 14 points and 4 rebounds a game. The head coach, Matthew Leonards. As assistant is Riley Reitz. This team went 14-8 this year. They have the number 16 seed in the SODAK 16 after going just 5-16 a year ago.
Great bounce back year for Webster here. 4 guys almost averaging double figures, so a well-balanced lineup.
Now let's take a look as they are introducing that Webster team right now. Let's flip over to the West Central Trojans. They made a head coaching change last year despite getting back to the state tournament for the first time in several years. They brought in the legend from St. Thomas More, Dave Hollenbeck. This is his first year with him, although he had won 536 games at St. Thomas More, and they will line up this way. Will Cool, the 6'10" center/forward who's heading to Northern State, followed by perhaps the best guard in Class A and one of the best guards really at any level, Connor Mebius, a 5'10" junior. Colt Gary, I mentioned him, another big post presence, 6'5" forward senior center. He is a senior as well. Boucher Knight, I may be pronouncing that wrong. I do apologize either way. A 5'6" junior guard. He is a spark plug. Finally, a 5'9" junior guard, Hayden Heyer. The West Central Trojans out of Hartford, South Dakota, the #1 seed in the SODAK 16, enter this game at 21-0. They went 21-4 last year, made the state tournament, were consolation champs. They have their eyes on the big prize this year, but to get there, they must win tonight.
A lot of depth, a lot of experience is the reason why they're undefeated. It's going to be a tall task for Webster, but let's see if they're ready to go here.
The rest of that staff, by the way, for West Central: Zane Gira, Jeff Dittman, Jason Rops, and Andrew Olvestad. We are ready to hand out one more ticket to the State A basketball tournament. Sioux Falls Christian just earned it a little bit ago. And we'll see if the #1 seed, West Central, can join them. We are underway. The Trojans winning the opening tap in this one. There is a big crowd, really from both sides. A little more sizable from West Central. Webster brought a good contingent, though, as well. Knight for three, and he buries it. Actually, the bigger crowd is from Webster. Webster brought quite a few people from up north. They have a longer trip as well. Stolen away by Mebius. Cool has it. He'll kick it out. Knight, as they work it around the arc. Oh, they leave higher, wide open. He hits it off the front rim, but the offensive rebound to Gary. Second chance for the Trojans. Patient offense here from Dave Hollenbeck's crew. Gary, oh, he was open, but he lost it.
Good hands there by Shoemaker. Knocking that out of Gary's hands.
So we'll get a look here at Matthew Leonard's Webster area squad. He says Matthew Mount, really his best player, a terrific scorer. There's a three on the way, and that's good for Shoemaker.
Deep NBA range right there.
We're all knotted up. No surprise there. That's his best three-point shooter for Matthew Leonard's.
He gets the defensive steal on one end and hits the three at the other end.
You wouldn't necessarily think he's the best three-point shooter. There's Cool with the answer.
Tough to defend at that height.
These are these new age big men, the stretch bigs. We got a steal right away. Mebius inside, scoop it up and in.
Strong jump stop, will step through, left-handed scoop finish.
You look away, you're going to miss something here. We're going to get a timeout for Matthew Leonard, something he doesn't like right away.
Feels a little reminiscent of our previous game.
And it certainly does. 8-3 our score. West Central on top. We'll take a quick timeout. You're watching the SODAK 16 on Midwest Sports Plus.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
What a start. And how about these student sections? You're looking at the Sioux Falls Christian one right now. Eventually we'll get a shot of the Webster one. They're almost completely up the bleachers on the other side.
Yeah, both West Central and Webster have brought quite a crowd tonight.
Here comes Lesnar. Poked away by Knight on the back end. It is out of bounds off of him. He tried to say that he knocked it off of Lesnar's foot, but...
Great recovery there by Knight. Kind of got crossed up in the backcourt. Came back and knocked it out.
8-3 our score. Shoemaker, dangerous inbound. Higher, nearly took it away, but Mount able to recover. They got the 1-3, but that's the only shot they've gotten off so far. That defense that you expect from Dave Hollenbeck teams has come to play. 12 on the shot clock. Now down to 10. Long three from Shoemaker. Oh, my!
Almost the same shot he just hit, same spot.
He ain't a Shoemaker, he's a shot maker. Mebius with the answer. Yes! And he draws the foul! We did not come to have a slow night tonight. We have got action galore, and we're not even 3 minutes in.
Great answer by Mebius. Not giving him space to land. That's where that foul comes from.
This is for a 4-point play, and Mebius, he's one of the best free throw shooters you'll find. No shock, he drains that one. 12-6. I mean, if you're Webster area trying to pull this upset, oh, nice pass inside. Kick back out, Mount, Trey, BN. They're 3 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Good start for Webster from deep. Great response.
If they're going to have any opportunity to pull this upset, they have to be this good from three-point range.
Yeah, be consistent with it throughout the game. Good job by Mount getting out in the passing lane there.
Question is, can their defense rise to the occasion? So far, West Central has made everything they've put up, basically.
Just like in our first game, high scoring. I think this one might be right there with it.
12-9. You got to be impressed.
Zone here for Webster.
Got to be impressed. The Bearcats not showing any back down against the number one team and the unbeaten team in Class A. Mebius thought about that three. Now Cool's open for it. Why not? Who says these kids can't shoot today? 15-9. We've got a three-point contest breaking out here in Madison.
Everybody's shooting them right now.
Will Cool, all of his shots have come from beyond the arc. He's up to 6. The bespectacled Jaron McCreary working his way in. Still has it, but they'll say he's on the baseline now. Tough break for the young man.
A good attack, just kind of got off balance there. One thing that's tough is when you're stopped, you got to find a way to jump stop and find the next guy.
So West Central, they've seen Webster area match them with threes nearly, but now they can build a little bit more of a lead here, up 15-9. Mebius going in, loses it. They're going to say it's off the Bearcats.
That's one thing you don't want to allow if you have the zone defense going on, letting the guy from the top just split your two defenders.
Be Knight inbounding underneath the basket. Gets to Gary in the post. Spin, going in off glass, and one. This is a formula you don't want if you're Coach Leonard, as they're already picking up a lot of fouls and they're giving them extra free throws to boot.
A good take there by Gary. Felt his man on the top side. Just a little spin to the baseline, gets an and one.
And we'll get some players coming in off the bench right now for West Central. Bubba Kono checks in. Here's the and one opportunity for Gary, you bet. Good free throw shooting right now as well. Everything's going in right now for these teams.
Yep. Gary gets a break there. They're going to bring in Tanner Wagner.
So you've got Kono and Wagner coming in.
Must be okay to take out the 6'5 guy and slot in a 6'6 guy, huh?
Especially when you can still keep the 6'10 dude out there as well, and Cool. No substitutions as yet for the Bearcats. Top. Shoemaker backs out. He's hit a pair of threes. 10 on the shot clock. They're using it all. Tried to enter that pass into Lesnar. Taken away. Wagner credited with the steal. Here comes Mebius. Skipping in. No foul called on the offense there. Higher. Between four defenders. Oh, nice touch pass into Cool off the glass for two.
Great ball movement there, finding the extra guy.
20-9. As good as that start was for Webster, they find themselves down by 11. That can happen pretty quickly against the Dave Hollenbeck defense, which nearly forces another turnover right there. Matthew Mount has gotten the 1-3. Here's another three on the way. That looked pretty good for a moment, but it's a little offline. Here come the Trojans, pushing higher. He wants to go higher. He gets in. He puts it in.
Blow by and finish.
Everybody in the starting lineup has scored for West Central. They've got 22 points. That's out of bounds. Hollenbeck wanted it to go to West Central. It'll stay with Webster area.
And for Webster so far, having a tough time getting inside the perimeter with that defensive pressure that West Central's putting on.
They have 22 points less than 5 minutes into the first quarter. And I don't think Webster area's played badly, but this is just a blitzkrieg from West Central. Here's Lesnar driving in. Little Euro step. Just rolls off. And the Trojans want to run again. They've got numbers. 4-on-3. Mebius all the way. A little short. Cool. Tried to tab it back up and in, but the rebound goes to McCreary, who's been a little quiet this quarter. Lesnar bumped. No foul. They say he's out of bounds. The Webster folks do not like it. They think Kono got a little bit too much body.
You know, that was a pretty good defense, though. He's there. He's sliding. He might have hit him a little bit, but looks like he lost control of the ball first.
Well, if there's one thing you could say about Dave Hollenbeck over the years, he's been the minister of defense in South Dakota, and his teams know how to play it. Alley-oop! Oh, what a dunk for Will Cool!
It's lob there from Mebius. Will Cool on the backside with the hammer.
Those two, one of the best combinations in the state, like peanut butter and jelly. Good every time. That might be the dunk of the year. At least as far as what we've seen on Midwest Sports Plus. My goodness. Cool already into double figures. Look at this replay.
Split screens at the top on the zone. Cool getting the lob.
My goodness. I lose my mind temporarily. It's just because you don't see that every day. Even at the pro level, you don't see that every day. Shoemaker with Cool on him. 24-9. This game was 12-9 a few moments ago. It's a 12-0 run. That shot a little wild from McCreary. Look at Mebius on the run. Cool again. Layup. Cool in the gang. Foul and one. West Central is in their bag right now.
A defensive pressure that they're applying right now. Just letting them get out and run. Great job from Cool running the floor. Mebius with another drop off. And another finish there for Cool.
Are we going to get 100 points in this game at this pace? My gosh. And one for Cool. We've got a timeout on the floor. Everybody needs to catch their breath. It's 27-9 on Midwest Sports Plus. Back in a moment.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place. It's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, we turn that opportunity into progress through unbiased research, education that empowers, and a community that lifts each other higher. SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're leading with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Well, some things are happening. We've got 27 points, and we still have 1:46 to go. Brian Stabner.
On pace for over 100 here, which you do not see in high school basketball very often.
We do get a running clock in the second half if it's a 30-point game, which we're already nearing 20. And again, I don't know that Webster area is playing badly. This is why this team from West Central is unbeaten. They are just a highlight machine. The key, ironically, right there, good timing from Colin Warren, by our producer with the highlight of the game thus far, alley-oop reverse jam from Will Cool.
Just two of the best players at their position in the state. Their size and strength, they have plenty of experience, and you're seeing it in the full effect here in the first quarter.
Well, Webster area, as I said, it was 12-9 after they had splashed their third three. It's now a 15-0 run. And stolen away. You know what's coming. Boom!
Cool coming over there on the trap. As soon as Mount turned, he was waiting for him, got the steal in the run out.
It is a blitzkrieg. 29-9.
Webster just having a hard time getting into any offense here.
And Cool already has 15. He's going to be playing a little farther north of here next year at Northern State. And final, no, that one rolls out. Tough break. Here comes Mebius. I mean, you talk about how good Cool is, but this guy starts the whole thing. That's a kick ball out of bounds.
Yeah, Mebius quick to the ball, ready to push that thing. It's a little kick there that gives get out of bounds underneath. See what West Central has drawn up coming out.
Here's that Cool dunk moment ago. I mean, says something when a one-hand dunk looks kind of conventional. Inside. And that one is good. We're now over 30 points. That was Carter Gross. Under a minute to go in a first quarter that feels like it's been a first half of scoring for most teams.
31 points in a quarter is impressive, and I don't think they're going to be done yet.
My goodness. Webster area. They brought a big contingent of folks here. I think they're just stunned right now. And again, I don't think their team has done anything wrong. They're seeing why this is one of the best teams in South Dakota. Three on the way, no good. Cool. I think they're going to get him with an offensive foul. That's about the only thing that's gone wrong for Will Cool this quarter.
I think he held on a little bit too much there fighting for that board.
Well, 17.9 to go. Webster Area can hold for the final shot. And, if they can get it into double figures themselves, that would normally be a pretty good quarter for a team. One problem.
But can they get into a set here to finish the quarter?
Well, we'll see what happens. They got to go full court. They've got Hayden Heyer, the original starter, back in. Will Cool is on the bench. Going to get a quick breather before we start the second quarter. We get an inbound to Lesnar. Full court pressure. He gets a little screen here to get past half court. 10 seconds left. Here's Shoemaker. He has 2 threes. Now Mount. Shoemaker, long three, no good. Knight the rebound. Can they get one up? Heyer from half court. If this goes, you got to be kidding me. Well, at least something made sense that quarter. My goodness. That is not a misprint. For many teams, 31 would be a good half. For West Central, it's a quarter. 31-9, the number 1 team in South Dakota, Class A, is rolling. Back for the second quarter of the SODAK 16 on the Avera Health Game of the Week. You're watching Midwest Sports Plus.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
From the field to your phone, Midwest Sports Plus is your all-access pass to regional sports. Stream live sports, post-game breakdowns, and exclusive shows. Every play, every game, all in one place. Download Midwest Sports Plus today. Visit MidwestSportsPlus.com for full detail.
Zach Borg, Brian Stabner, producer Colin Warren at Madison High School, and I don't really know how to sum up that first quarter, but you mentioned to me that the Miami Heat's Bam Adebayo scored 31 in the first quarter. That might be the only basketball player anywhere or basketball team that had a better performance than what we just saw from West Central in that first quarter.
So active, getting out and running. They're going again here after their stop.
Here comes Bubba Kono! And one.
Another and one. Start the second quarter.
I mean, again, as I've said several times, I don't want to come off as harsh for the folks who are watching us from Webster area. I don't know that there's much they can do. The one area you can maybe say you can be a little critical of is they've given up probably too many and ones.
Yeah, transition defense, they got to find a way to get back. They're getting a lot of runouts.
By the way, Will Cool is still on the bench, and he has 15. This is the worst possible thing you can see, too. You think those guys are out, and maybe you're going to creep back in this thing, and right away, Bubba Kono gets an and one, and it's 34-29. This game was 12-9. Pretty, I think within 3 minutes into the first quarter. And since then, it's a 22-0 run for West Central.
And that's came from West Central's defense, just getting after it.
3 on the way. The shutout continues. Here comes Knight. You know they're not going to slow down. Stripped away, though. Nice play by Shoemaker. He doesn't have numbers the other way, though. Well, I've seen West Central 2 times this year. In fact, the first time I saw them was early in the season. I think it was their second game. Shoemaker, long 3. He hit 2 right away, but he's missed his last 2. And here come the Trojans. A relatively slow pace for them right now as they get a chance to slow down. In the post, Wagner backing down. Kick out. Kono 3. No. The first time I saw them, they were playing Del Rapids, and Del Rapids is kind of a rebuilding program. They've been through several head coaches now in the last couple of years. After one quarter, it was 24-1. I thought that was about as impressive as it could be. This took the cake.
Hey, there for Webster. Good attack. First time kind of getting into the paint. Going to get a chance to shoot some free throws here. Finally breaking down the defense.
And hopefully in that scoreless streak they've been on. They haven't really gone to their bench much here as Webster area. This is Sheldon Schmeig, the 6'2 junior, trying to get them their first points in almost a full quarter of action, and he does indeed do that with a free throw. That's the good news. The bad news, here comes Mr. Me and Mr. Cool. That was maybe their chance to get it a little bit closer, and it did not get significantly closer.
The defensive intensity didn't drop off at all when those guys went out.
Here comes Mebius. Man, he gets up the court fast. That is amazing. Cool, who leads everybody with 15 points. Cross-court pass to Knight. 3 in the corner. No good. Offensive rebound, Gary. They've got their starters back out. Does West Central higher 3? No. Knight leaped for the rebound. Couldn't get it. Webster wants to run. Here they come. Good pass there, and a basket and one. Little taste of their own medicine for West Central.
Cool second foul, too.
Basket good for Matthew Mount. Did want to get you a few more scores here. We haven't done a score update, really, of the SODAK 16 since our first game. As I mentioned, our first game, Sioux Falls Christian was the first team to qualify for the State A tournament. Groton Area defeats Pine Ridge 62-54. I don't have much time because here, and that's a walk for Knight. You're not going to get away with that one.
Yep. Tried to do a little stutter step. Got the hand under the ball. No carry call.
So again, we've got 2 teams that are into the State A boys basketball tournament. Groton Area over Pine Ridge 62-54. That was out in Chamberlain. Other games underway. Dave Hollenbeck's former team, St. Thomas More, in the 10-7 matchup. The 10 seed leads Lennox 29-23 down in Winter. So keep an eye on that ball game. That could be a barn burner. Cheyenne Eagle Butte leads Mapialuta 23-17 out in Sturgis. Shoemaker in the post over Cool. Well done by Jack Shoemaker, who'd only hit 3s at this point.
And they get a timeout out of it. Shoemaker created the contact, got a little fadeaway, got a little timeout, a little run.
Let's keep it right here for the 30-second timeout. Get you the score updates. Hamlin and Rapid City Christian are also underway. The second game of the Chamberlain doubleheader. Hamlin up 9-2 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. 2 other games on deck. Stanley County and Flandreau set to start out in Miller, and Clark Willow Lake and McCook Central Montrose up in Watertown coming up at about 8 o'clock. Now in Class B, DeSmet, the first team to qualify for the State B tournament. They defeat Ipswich, game that was pretty close for a while up at the Huron Arena, but DeSmet pulls away to win 56-45. Defending State B champion Castlewood, they are in 69-43 with a win over Timberlake out in Miller. Viborg Hurley punches their ticket 70-57. They down White River at Mitchell High School. Aberdeen Christian had a tough time for a while with Sioux Falls Lutheran. They win 67-52 out up at Watertown Arena. We'll finish that thought. We got 4 more games that are in progress in Class B, but back to action now. West Central up 34-15 as we've seen Webster Area go on a 5-0 run. Hayden Heyer penetrates, kick out, Mebius, 3. No, offline. Rebound to Schmeig.
Webster getting into that zone defense, causing a little issue. We'll see if West Central goes back to that high split screen.
Mount will take a 3 from the top. You bet.
Good response. 9-2.
Well, this is an 8-0 run for Webster Area. They feed it inside. Wagner came free and lays it in. First points for Tanner Wagner. Just a bad break for Webster Area. They tried to go for the steal and couldn't get it. And Wagner was there to put it away.
Well, when you're in zone, it's tough to go for a steal on that bottom part.
Shoemaker. They're going to call a blocking foul on Wagner. Take a look at the replay here and see if indeed.
It's a close one. Could have probably gone either way.
Well, I think a nice impressive answer here from Webster Area. They've got a big mountain to climb here, but ever since Will Cool checked in, he hasn't scored again. Neither is Mebius. And they've trimmed this thing back down inside 20. I mean, this thing looked like it was going to be 100 points at one point, and they're kind of making some inroads here.
Response, I think that's they said the basket was good as it was.
So continuation, it's 36-20. Shoemaker has 10 points.
I think Webster kind of got themselves calmed down. I think the nerves kind of ran through. They weren't ready for that high intensity right away in the first quarter.
Free throw no good. Those other Class B SODAK 16 games underway. Lyman at half. Another miss for West Central. Lyman leads Leola Frederick 32-25 at the Huron Arena. Freeman up 38-22 at half over Lower Brule in Mitchell. That one no good. Sully Buttes Inside Mebius, spins in and out. Doors starting to open a little bit here for Webster if they can get some more shots to go down. Lesnar crossover. Inside, wild shot though, no good. Rebound to Carter Gross. West Central's gone a couple of minutes here without scoring. Mebius thought about the 3. 2-3 zone. Oh, his pass thrown away. And that's back to Webster area. What are you seeing the Bearcats do here that's maybe crossing up the Trojans?
Yeah, their zone defense here has really kind of took West Central out of their game. But the big thing is they've transitioned much better, so they've gotten a chance to get into the zone defense.
Sully Buttes in a tight one with Dupree out in Gettysburg, 20-16 at half. And Sanborn Central Woonsocket leads Wall 36-3 at half out in Kadoka. That catches you up on our scores right now. 3 for Shoemaker. Oh, it looked online. It was not. So Webster area's defense has given them a chance, but they've not been able to get any closer than 16.
Well, they're really getting some baskets when they're attacking the hoop. Now they're kind of settling for jumpers again.
Mebius top of the key 3. That's no good. Neither team able to get much right now after that frenetic pace we had in the first quarter. With Webster area, they're getting the stops they need. They just have, like you said, they've stopped attacking. And what's more, Cool is out of the game. You got to go inside right now. Mount 3. Spins in and out and in again. What do I know? Keep taking those 3s.
Well, it was a great flare screen on the backside they got in that look. So defender was late to come over and contest.
Mount is in double figures with 11. They are 1-3 away from getting this down to 10. Dave Hollenbeck wants a response. Goes to Mebius. He's off again. Rebound. And going to the deck hard is Gross. Foul on Webster. That's just their 3rd team foul.
Yeah, that's a tough foul to get both guys going for the basketball. I think Lesnar was just a second late there. He's going to get the push call.
2:44 to go in this half. The number 1 team in the state looked like they were going to run away and hide. But Webster area is standing their ground a bit. Inbound to Gary, fumbles it. It's going back to the Bearcats.
Good defense. That's actually an amazing job from the guy coming all the way from the top spot in the zone to defend that cut.
Webster area was down 34-9. They have gone on a 14-2 run.
I think we're going to probably see West Central's defensive pressure get cranked back up. Looked like they turned it off a little bit.
Shoemaker all the way. Oh, it just skipped off the back of the iron. Here comes Gross, but he doesn't have anybody back with him. In the corner on the wing, there's Mebius. Kono. In the middle, here comes Gross with the 3 on the wing. Too strong. They're getting the stops. Can they get the makes? Nearly stolen away as old Gary goes into the first row where a couple of young girls are.
Great hustle there by Gary. Like the save attempt there behind the back.
If this game gets down inside 10 at half, what can you say about the job Matthew Leonards and his staff have done to keep this team within themselves?
Well, I was watching during one of their timeouts, and he was really holding all those guys accountable, and they kind of responded to that.
Here's Shoemaker. Right now, he has 10 points. Mount, their top scorer, has 11. Oh, what a move by Lesnar. It drops off again.
Multiple possessions in a row are just rolled out.
Here comes Mebius all the way. That one's not falling off.
Great explosive move. He plays at such a great pace, slow into a fast. I mean, just change is so constant. It makes him so tough to guard.
If we're using an auto racing term, he goes 0 to 60 like that. Snap of your fingers.
Yeah, he puts you to sleep and then just explodes.
Spinning in the high post. Now kick out to Mount. Going one-on-one with Heyer. Fade away, 15-footer. Smooth.
Bounce almost to a season average here in the first half.
38-26. 12-point game as we tick down to a minute. From where this was a 25-point game, Webster area has got to like where they are right now, and they could get it down inside 10 if they hit a 3 here.
Chance to get within inside 10 after the first quarter they had going to half. If you're going to half within 10, you're really happy.
This is a 17-4 run. What a job by this Bearcat team. The heavy underdogs will not go away. Blocked by Gary, though. Here come the Trojans, 2-on-1. Mebius, and one.
Another and one for the Trojans. And that's where they've really scored, is out in transition.
The block by Gary started it. Kono, nice pass. Mebius the finish. And Mebius now in double figures with 10. What a potentially game-changing play. That could have gotten it down to 10.
They're going from within 10 to now down 15.
A 5-point play, essentially. 41-26. Mebius now has 11. Amazing thing is, Kuhl had 15 in the first, and he's basically been on the bench this entire quarter.
I think with the 2 fouls, they really don't want him to pick up a bad third one here in the second quarter, especially with the lead that they have.
About a 7-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Trying to get it inside to Wick, who's been quiet, nearly stripped away. Battle for it. We're going to get a foul called on Bubba Kono. That is the third team foul. So the shot clock will be off, and Webster can take the final shot if they can hold and if they want to.
18 seconds to go. Get your one set. Get your last shot attempt. Don't let West Central get another touch here in this half.
Again, still a 16-point game, but Webster is doing enough to give themselves a chance to get back in this thing. Mount, guarded closely by Heyer. Switches off. Here is Wick, down to 6, 5. Shoemaker, he's hit some long ones. Here's another one, offline, and that will do it for the first half. Well, after that blitzkrieg of the first quarter, Webster uses a 17-2 run to maintain and restore some semblance of order, but the number one team in Class A still has a big lead at the break. West Central, 16 minutes from a return trip to state, 41-25 in the SODAK 16. You're watching the Avera Health Game of the Week on Midwest Sports Plus.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
I often say to my students, it's like, here's the project. What would you have to adapt to make this fit the school where you're serving? And we want to help people be better teachers, better leaders, better instructional coaches, better athletic directors. And so the more we can apply the classroom learning to their local experience, the better that's not just going to be for them, it's actually going to be a benefit to their school community.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, we turn that opportunity into progress through unbiased research, education that empowers, and a community that lifts each other higher. SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're leading with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
125 years ago, Greenberg's Jewelers opened their doors with a single Midwest location. Today, Greenberg's has grown to be Iowa's largest family-owned jewelry chain, with additional locations in Nebraska and South Dakota. Greenberg's has always and always will believe that high-quality jewelry should be within reach for every love story. How do they accomplish this? Over 125 years of buying a lot of diamonds and selling a lot of diamonds. Greenberg's Jewelers, where every diamond tells a story.
Halftime, West Central, 1/2 away, the number 1 unbeaten team in the state from a trip to the state tournament, 41-25 over Webster area. Well, player who went to plenty of state tournaments at O'Gorman High School in her time, Molly Abdush, now at South Dakota State, about to head to the NCAA tournament with the Jackrabbits. One time it didn't look like any of that was going to happen when she fought through a rare illness as a sophomore. Let's take a closer look at her story. There's a ferocity to the way Molly Abdush plays basketball.
Right away, you just see her explosiveness and the quickness that she's able to play with. She just has the ability to impact the game. You have that, burst, that energy that she plays with, but then you also have that skill level.
I'm a tenacious player, that I give it all when I'm out there on both ends of the court, not just offense, but on defense too. That's something that I pride myself in.
The Jackrabbit redshirt freshman never leaves the court without giving her all, in part because there was a time where Molly wondered if she'd ever play on it again.
When you see the rare and infectious disease doctor walk in, you're kind of like, okay, this is probably just a little more than, something simple fix.
It all started in August of 2021 as Abdush was preparing for her sophomore year at O'Gorman High School.
Just a basketball workout in Sioux Falls, and I realized I couldn't get the ball to the rim. No matter how hard I tried, my legs just wouldn't do it. So I kept airballing and I was like, what is going on? So I kind of just forgot about it, thought maybe I was having some sore legs or whatever. And I go home and the next morning I'm just sitting in my bed, taking pictures on Snapchat or whatever. And I noticed that my face is paralyzed. I can't move the left side of my face. It won't go up, my nostrils won't flare, my eyebrows won't lift, can't blink. It was crazy, so I ran upstairs, obviously. My mom took me to the hospital. They got me in right away. It was pretty scary, I'd say. But we did I want to say it was a 5-hour MRI, spinal tap. Every doctor possible came in, talked to me. Molly was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare autoimmune disease in which the immune system attacks the nerves. For me, it was just putting my trust in God and my faith to carry me through that. I had great family and friends supporting me. Though catching the disease early prevented further nerve damage and was treatable with 5 days of antibodies through an IV, Abdush was told the typical recovery time was 6 to 12 months. I think whenever anything like this happens, you always think maybe, what if I'll never get back to who I was or whatever. But it was crazy. Right after I got out of the hospital, I went to my driveway and I shot. And it was I'd never left. My shot was perfect. It took Molly only 3 months to get back on the court for O'Gorman's first practice, playing in their regular season opener against Brandon Valley in early December. I think being resilient in that time and just having to lean on my community around me and God really shaped the person that I am today. During her recovery, she verbally committed to SDSU, and the coaching staff whose commitment to her never wavered. And I just tried to put myself in her family's shoes. I just think in general, young people are always very resilient. The older we get, the more fragile our minds are and the more we see different things, and it probably hits us differently. But as a young person, there's just an optimism that goes into that. And that's how Molly was. To talk to her, she knew the severity, she knew the reality, but she was also incredibly positive and optimistic, and that's how she is today. She'd go on to become the second leading scorer in O'Gorman history with 1,261 points, racking up 362 assists and 249 steals, and several Player of the Year awards, twice helping lead the Knights to state titles. Her ability to cross over, change directions, make shots, explode, get to the rim, and finish. And then as you get to know her, just a great person. She's always positive, she's always upbeat, such a good energy giver, just really exactly what we wanted in a point guard. Redshirting in her first year at SDSU, Molly made Jackrabbit history just 12 games into her career. It was just a really fun game. I think it's one of those games where everything's just kind of going your way. I'm seeing everything that's happening, really locked in on defense. Against Ball State on December 14th, she set a new single-game program record with 10 steals. And a steal by Abdush. She's incredibly instinctive. I really credit her, but also the way they played O'Gorman. A lot of pressing, a lot of trapping. She's really good at just kind of sitting there, waiting, and those instincts of when to get in the passing lane. Yeah, I just think Molly's really just scratching the surface and how good she's going to be. Fitting of a player who refused to let a disease steal her career or confidence. I think being able to go through that experience and develop those characteristics is something that really has shaped me into the person I am today. In Brookings for Midwest Sports Plus, I'm Zach Borg.
field to your phone, Midwest Sports Plus is your all-access pass to regional sports. Stream live sports, post-game breakdowns, and exclusive shows. Every play, every game, all in one place. Download Midwest Sports Plus today. Visit MidwestSportsPlus.com for full details.
125 years ago, Greenberg's Jewelers opened their doors with a single Midwest location. Today, Greenberg's has grown to be Iowa's largest family-owned jewelry chain, with additional locations in Nebraska and South Dakota. Greenberg's has always and always will believe that high-quality jewelry should be within reach for every love story. How do they accomplish this? Over 125 years of buying a lot of diamonds and selling a lot of diamonds. Greenberg's Jewelers, where every diamond tells a story.
Getting set to start the second half here at the SODAK 16. West Central on top 41-25. And, you know, the funny thing was it was Cool and the gang putting on a show in the first quarter, 31-9. But West Central only scored 10 in the first quarter. I hesitate to say that Webster's back in it, but they left the door open a little bit. Webster almost got within 10.
Well, great response. They win the second quarter. Now you're going to start this second half here. Can you win another quarter to put you right there as you go fight in the last 8 minutes of the game?
I mean, some of the interesting stats of this game, of course, Will Cool scored 15. He was throwing down massive dunks, but he gets shut out in the second quarter and had some foul trouble. Connor Mebius with 11. Matthew Mount for Webster led them with 13. Jack Shoemaker had a couple of threes right away, 10 points. Webster with 5 of 10 from beyond the arc. West Central hit their first couple of threes, but 4 of 16. They really struggled in that second quarter, especially from beyond the arc.
Yeah, when Webster went into that zone, West Central did get a few good looks, just couldn't get the finish. And I think that's a part of what got them back into this game, getting those few stops, getting themselves back into that zone and not allowing West Central to transition so much. Can they repeat here in the second half?
Of course, an area where we knew the Trojans would make some hay on the glass with their size, out-rebounding the Bearcats 21-8, including on the offensive glass. Webster couldn't get any offensive rebounds, and West Central only had 4, but those second-chance points proved critical during that big first quarter.
And I think a lot of that comes because they're perimeter shots from Webster, not getting enough on the interior. Good hands there.
Cool, as West Central will start with the ball here in the second half. Tried to get that one out to Hayden Heyer, but good defensive action right there from Jaron McCreary to poke that one away. It'll stay with the Trojans. Mebius with the inbound. Heyer back to Mebius, who kind of carried them in that second quarter. Down to 8 on the shot clock. Heyer, 3. They have not been able to hit anything since their torrid opening quarter start. From beyond the arc, nearly stolen away by Knight. Still feels like their defense has kind of slacked off ever since that opening quarter.
Intensity doesn't seem as there as it was early on.
Inside, McCreary walled off, but they're going to say travel. I thought for a moment they might get Mebius or Cool with the bump, but they say he walked.
Good job standing strong down there by Mebius, forcing the turnover.
Well, when you look back at some of the keys from Coach Matthew Leonard for Webster area, said his team had to play great defense and rebound extremely well. I think the defense came along in the second quarter. Mebius for 3, and now back in again.
See, maybe that will get him going a little bit. He struggled from 3 in the first half. That little roll sometimes gets that confidence flying back up.
I was saying, I think the defense came along in the second quarter, but the rebounding obviously was not there. Shoemaker back outside. McCreary blocked by Cool. Return to sender. Here come the Trojans. Stop and start. No look out to Knight from Mebius for 3.
Yeah, 2 for 3 to start the half.
They're finding their touch again from distance. And it's up to a 22-point lead again. The biggest lead they had was 25 early in the second. Fumbled for a moment. But can't quite get the finish. Gage Wick. Heyer. Kick out. Mebius thought about the 3. Kicks it to Knight again. Trey. No good. Rebound. Over the back goes Cool, and it's off him. Back to Webster.
The stops from West Central is what's leading them to get out and put that pressure on that zone before Webster can get back and get set up.
Looks like they want to go with a full court defense here. Stolen away by Mebius. He's got numbers. 3-on-1. Feeds Gary, who fumbled it and couldn't quite get the finish. Nearly stolen away by Cool, but it's out off of him.
I like that drop off there for Mebius, but sometimes you got to be a little selfish.
Especially when you are now the second leading scorer. The remarkable thing, nearly stolen away by Knight, who almost slides into the bleachers. Gotta love Bochi Knight. He is a good spark plug for that team in the starting. Sometimes he's come off the bench, but whatever he does, he's a spark plug for that team. 47-25. 6-0 run. Start the quarter for West Central, kind of reestablishing a little of the pace they had in the first. A little pull up inside 15 feet for the first bucket and points of the quarter for Webster area, and the first points for Gage Wick. Their 6'5" center.
Face up by Wick. Cool, give him a little space and knocking it down.
Higher off the front of the rim, but Mebius was right there for the rebound. Draws the blocking foul from McCreary.
The Webster fans didn't like that, but that was clearly a block.
Gotta say, too, I like Coach Leonard's. I haven't mentioned this as we take a look at the replay here of that foul. Good on Coach Leonard for wearing the old school suit and tie for the coach. You don't see that too much at any level.
Yeah, props to him. I don't know a lot of guys that are doing that anymore.
And he's the younger of the two coaches. Coach Hollenbeck's been around, and he's kind of wearing your a little bit more of a casual attire, if you will. Cool. He hasn't scored since the first. Passes out to Higher. Back to Cool. 15-footer off the front rim. No. Offensive rebound to Higher. Reverse. No. Rebound Shoemaker.
Higher looking for the foul there. Not getting it.
Just feels like Cool has been off since he had to go to the bench with foul trouble in the second.
Sometimes that little break wasn't really little. He sat for probably 6 minutes there in the second quarter.
Inside. Back outside Shoemaker. He hasn't hit a three since the first. Good time for me to give him the reverse announcer jinx, apparently.
I think that must be a spot on the floor. That's where he's been shooting it from, that right wing deep. Another make. That's his third one.
Now Mebius. He'll try to answer with the three. No good. Knight. Yeah, he went over the back there pretty hard. That'll be the first team foul on West Central. Not a whole lot of fouls this quarter so far. One on each team now.
Another good look for West Central. Is struggling to hit from deep.
So, after going on that 6-0 run, nice little 5-0 response from Webster. And stolen away. That was an ill-advised entry pass by Shoemaker, and Mebius makes him pay.
I think we all saw that steal coming on that inbound.
And now Mebius is the leading scorer with 16. Especially after the way Cool came out in this game, you wouldn't have thought that in the first quarter. But as good as Cool is with his size, I think most people kind of tend to say Mebius is the top player on this team.
Yeah, he's going to have the ball in his hands the most, so he gets the opportunity to make the most plays. Blocked
well,
by Cool, though.
Right as I say that, Cool, it's a fun competition to have. Cool to Mebius. Swatted, but they're going to call a foul on Shoemaker.
Good run out by Shoemaker trying to get blocked back on the other end.
Well, it is kind of hard to believe. It'll be interesting next year because obviously Cool moves on to Northern State as a senior, and that's a good pass from a big man across the court.
Yeah, nice pass by Cool. Looked like a pretty good contest there for my replay.
First free throw from Mebius. Hit the front iron and then rolled off. 49-30. I was about to say before that turnover that Webster done a pretty nice job. They'd gone down by 22, got the 5-0 run, could have gotten it back down to the below what the halftime margin was, but just like that, the West Central defense makes a play, and we're back up to 20 again.
Well, and even though West Central is putting a lot of pressure on, Webster hasn't had a lot of turnovers in the game.
Good point. Ryan Stabner, Zach Borg, producer Colin Warren, second game of our SODAK 16 doubleheader. Shoemaker a three. That missed everything. Our first game, the defending State A champion Sioux Falls Christian Chargers qualifying for the tournament for the, what a nice, beautiful pass from Wagner to Cool, who's in the score column for the first time since that 15-point opening quarter. He's up to 17.
There's a zone killer, high post or blocks short corner and get the next guy diving.
As I was about to say before that bucket, Sioux Falls Christian, the first game of our doubleheader, took out Wagner 89-68. And that was a little tougher for them than the score would indicate. That shot affected by Cool. Putback opportunity for Schmeig. No good. Here comes Mebius. all the way. He's hacked in the act and will go to the line.
There's Mebius being aggressive earlier on. You see him making the kick out there. Good attack. Now he's going to get to go shoot free throws.
52-30. The biggest lead they had in this game was 25 early in the second. Again, Webster did a really good job to get this game back down to 12 in the second quarter, but that is as close as it has been since.
Well, having Cool in defensively has saved them at the rim here this quarter a bunch of times.
They haven't really had much of Colt Gary either in this half. And a point where this game could have potentially changed, because it looked like Webster was maybe going to get this game down to 10. Was that play late in the second quarter where Gary got the block, started him in a fast break. Bubba Kono to Mebius, who got hacked, hit the hoop and the harm. And that seemed like that was maybe the last real chance Webster had to perhaps get back in this game. They could have gotten it down to 10 if they'd made that shot. Instead, it ended up being kind of a 5-point play.
Yeah, that 10 to 15 lead is just such a big difference.
Mebius now up to 19 points. We get another turnover right away on Webster. As we tick down under 3 minutes, 54-30. Mebius.
Split with the lob.
Here's another alley-oop. That one a little too high, but Cool able to recover and put it home anyway. That would have been another spectacular alley-oop. Not quite as flashy as that behind-the-back dunk, but
it was a good save there by Cool, though. He kind of got bodied as he tried to go up for the alley-oop. Went right back up, got the board, and scored it.
Knowing Dave Hollenbeck, I don't think he is going to complain about a nice, fundamentally sound play over a flashy dunk. Either way, shot no good for Mount. And here comes Carter Gross with a Connor Mebius-like burst of speed. Gives it up to Mebius, wrap around. I think they're going to say that Mebius was on the baseline.
Call the hook.
We got a foul call instead. This 26-point lead, by the way, is the biggest advantage of the night for the Trojans. And again, just a reminder, that's the second foul, by the way, on Tanner Wagner. If the Trojans hit 30, we'll get a 30-point lead. We'll get a running clock. We're now at 2 minutes to go in this third quarter. Try to update you on some other SODAK 16 scores here. Both A and B, we did that in the first half. Mount, high. He's going to go to the line, though. Nice little bailout foul there.
That will be on Will Cool, his third.
So they will likely send Cool back to the bench here for the final minute 47.
Great shot there on the replay. See Cool reaching in.
First free throw. Up and in. At some point we need to get a shot of that student section of Wagner. Wagner. That was our last game. Webster area. 15th point, by the way. You can see him in the free throw here. It's probably not going to be their night. They're going to keep Cool in this game, by the way, as Mount is now up to 15 in the game. Into Cool. Hammer time!
And the foul.
And one. Will Cool putting on a little mini dunk contest today. Having a little competition with his teammate Connor Mebius, who's out of the game. He's now up to 21.
And you won't see this stat, but Tanner Wagner with the seal to give the room for Cool to just go up and not have anyone there.
That's just unsung hero kind of play, and it's why this team is unbeaten. You get those kind of unselfish plays. Long three on the way, no good. Knight going up high for the rebound. How about that from a kid who's 5'6"? Nice pass. Oh, just can't quite get the finish, but Wagner the offensive rebound, and he's fouled. If he hits both these free throws, we will have a running clock.
Knight skying for that rebound.
Yeah.
Running the break, drop off.
You wouldn't picture some of the 5'6" kids to be the ones who would go up and get a rebound like that, but they do have a little bit extra hops, perhaps. There's that student section again. It's not going Webster area's way tonight, and I think they knew they were up against it, but what a turnout from them.
They brought a crowd.
Yeah, knowing that it was probably going to be a tough uphill battle. Kudos to the folks from Webster coming out and supporting their team.
Not just the student section. Looks like the whole town came out.
Yeah. Could teach the folks at North Dakota State a thing or two when it comes to women's basketball.
I don't know if we want to.
I'll leave it at that.
Right
yeah, well, I've been having that discussion online with a few salty Bison fans over that one, so I'll leave it at that. Minute to go, and we do have a running clock now that it's a 30-point ball game. Oh, drive inside. We are going to get a whistle here now. With the running clock, I believe it should stop for the foul. And yep, they're going to correct him here. It does stop with fouls and free throws. Should. So they're going to put some time back on him here, I believe.
Okay, they'll get that reset. Mount's going to shoot free throws here for Webster.
I think they're going to reset. Maybe I don't see the clock, anything going back. Now they're going to confer and try and figure out. Get you more scores from across the SODAK 16. They're starting the fourth quarter in Sturgis. Cheyenne Eagle Butte leads Mapialuta 51-40. St. Thomas More with 3 minutes to go in that game. The 10 seed leads Lennox 47-44. So Dave Hollenbeck, if these scores hold, Dave Hollenbeck's West Central Trojans could open the state tournament against his former team in Rapid City.
Be a fun first-round game, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, Bochi Knight a little too amped up, throws that one away. Clock will continue to run here, 61-32. Hamlin leads Rapid City Christian and Chamberlain, 45-21 with 3 minutes to go in the third. Stanley County and Flandreau are underway. That game has 4 minutes left in the third. Out in Miller, Stanley County leads by 3. Good game there. Clark Willow Lake and McCook Central Montrose just underway in Watertown. Clark Willow Lake leads that one 20-12 with a minute left in the first. We get B scores in the fourth quarter. Down low, hemmed in underneath. Somehow get it out to McCreary. McCreary spinning, loses it. And then Kono is fouled.
He's going to get free throws here to end the quarter.
Clock stops. As we get free throws here, it's going to be Bubba Kono going to the line. I might as well get you some of those B scores now since we're going to have 2 free throws. Castlewood into the state tournament for Class B. The defending champs, 69-43 over Timberlake at Miller. Viborg Hurley, 70-57 over White River. To Smet, 56-45 over Ipswich. First free throw good for Kono. Aberdeen Christian, 67-52 over Sioux Falls Lutheran. 1 minute to go. It looks like Freeman will join them, and it's just gone final, in fact. 62-40 over Lower Brule in Mitchell. Lyman, looks like they're going to go. They're up 50-39 over Leola Frederick. Both free throws good for Kono. That game has 4 minutes to go in the fourth at Huron Arena. Wall and Sanborn Central Woonsocket might be the game of the night. Tied at 64 with a minute to go in the fourth. And Sully Buttes leads Dupree 40-38 in Gettysburg with 2 minutes to go. Some good finishes on deck tonight in South Dakota. Down to 2 seconds left. 3 on the way from Mount. In and out. Would have been a nice buzzer beater in the quarter. But nonetheless, we will head to the fourth with a running clock. West Central, the number 1 unbeaten team in Class A, on their way to state. 8 more minutes. They lead 63-32. You're watching the SODAK 16 and a Very Health Game of the Week on Midwest Sports Plus. Back for our fourth and final quarter, which should go pretty quick with a running clock. 63-32 West Central on top of Webster area. We're going to take this moment to tell you that this copyrighted telecast is a presentation of Midwest Sports Plus and Forum Communications. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the express written consent of Forum Communications. Of course, the last game I spent a lot of time kind of going over throughout it what the girls' state tournament field is going to look like. which starts, of course, on Thursday. There is one boys state tournament field that's already set. Of course, we have the AA SODAK 16 on Saturday. Webster getting a 3 on the way here. That's no good. I would not be shocked if Mebius and Kuhl are done for the day, by the way. They are both on the bench.
Might get a short run.
Perhaps.
In this quarter, maybe a minute or two, and then get them back off the floor, especially with the running clock.
Well, this is the last time they're going to play East River because the state tournament, of course, is out in Rapid City. It's a combined tournament this year with the AAs, and here is that AA schedule. 3 on the way. Splash for Hire, who only had 2 points prior to that.
Good ball movement. Skip from Gary from the corner to the slot. Swing right back to the corner and knock down.
We talked about how West Central is unbeaten. Another unbeaten team in AA. Lincoln will kick everything off at noon Central Time. A week from Thursday out at the Monument. A very interesting matchup that will be. They take on T-Area, the 9 seed, who of course won out at Spearfish. A little too deep there on the layup attempt. Now back comes the Trojans. And I say it's an interesting matchup because, of course, T-Area nearly defeated Lincoln at the Lincoln Gymnasium, lost by 2. Knight, long 3! Raining down. He's up to 9 points, 69-32.
West Central showing a little something different defensively here, a little 1-3-1 zone last couple possessions.
A very different look out there, obviously, with no Kuhl or Mebius, who are both now, as you predicted, they're getting off the bench. They're going to check in for a little bit of a run here to wrap this one up. Knight cruising down court. Kono Trey off the front rim. No, gets his own rebound. And a fresh possession. Second game of that first day will feature Harrisburg and Watertown. Inside, a little bit of a wild shot there by Carter Gross. Nearly thrown away by Webster Area. And now a foul on the backside by Colt Gary. We're going to get a line change here of sorts. 5 new players.
Looks like they got Mebius and Kuhl with a number of guys that haven't been on the floor yet.
Yeah, we've seen Wagner's coming out, but also coming out there for West Central. There's some guys who I don't even have on the roster right now. So, interesting little challenge we'll have to pick up here. We've got Braden Akenga and Peyton Tetzloff. I would expect we're going to see them go pretty deep as we get a drive and score there. First time score for Seth Lesner, sophomore, the starter. He's had a rough day, but gets in the score sheet. There's Wagner with the answer.
Just drop step. Set him up with a little jab to the right and hit him with the drop step to his left to go score.
Night session, by the way, in AA is going to be pretty interesting in a week from Thursday. You're going to have Sioux Falls Roosevelt at 6 Central against Brandon Valley, a Brandon Valley team which has been surging. And then, of course, there's been a lot made of the impending retirement of... Oh, what a fadeaway there.
Dirk Nowitzki there?
Yeah.
1 foot?
No kidding. We got another, again, going deep into the lineup here. That's Schmeig. Whistle here. We're going to get some more change, and I think they're just going to get some more substitutions. I think they're going to get Mebius and Kuhl. They just got him in for a few seconds to get him a standing O.
To get him their little run here in the fourth.
So we've got the reserves and some JV guys who are probably going to get about 4 minutes of varsity time, and you know they're going to fight hard to get on the score sheet. The last game of that first night is Huron with the top player, recruiting-wise anyway, Blake Elwine against O'Gorman. And that's an O'Gorman team that is extremely scrappy.
I think looking at the AA, Lincoln obviously the favorite, but I think there's so many other teams that could come through there and really challenge for the title.
We've seen him. O'Gorman gave him took him to the final possession. T-Area, who I know has kind of struggled a bit down the stretch. That's why they had to go on the road to Spearfish. Enter in their spot. We've got a timeout on the floor. 30 seconds. We'll take it right here and finish that thought when we return as the Trojans close it out. They're on their way to state on Midwest Sports Plus.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place. It's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, we turn that opportunity into progress through unbiased research, education that empowers, and a community that lifts each other higher. SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here. We're leading with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
field to your phone. Midwest Sports Plus is your all-access pass to regional sports.
Back to action here. A lot of reserves in. We're going to try and shout them out here as we've got the full rosters for these teams. And kind of an interesting note, I think the program, as you told me earlier, got flipped around between Webster and Wagner area, so a little confusing on that regard, but we'll get it sorted out. I can see out there right now for West Central, we've got a steal here going all the way. I almost thought that was going to be a Dunk City attempt for... That one rolls in for Matthew Mount, the leading scorer. Well, actually, the one thing I want to do before I shout out everybody's name, I do want to give a shout to the seniors on this Webster area team who are playing their final game. A little easier to do that in the last game with Wagner. They only had one senior. But Jaron McCreary, the 6'2 senior, he was their starter, averaged 9 points. Gage Wick, the 6'5 senior, 6 points, 5 boards a game. Jack Shoemaker, I think we were really impressed with him. He averaged about 11.5 points. Great three-point shooter, as Coach Leonard said. There's Tanner Wagner. Got a little whistle here. They're going to get Wagner out and some more reserves coming in. Also, Matthew Mount, their top scorer, best offensive player. Led the way for them this year with 14 points off the bench. We didn't see much of him. Peyton Sickmiller, a 5'11 senior guard. Those are the seniors who will be leaving this Webster area Bearcat basketball program. We congratulate them on their high school basketball careers and wish them the best of luck in their post-high school, college pursuits, whatever they pursue in life. I hope they enjoyed a special time in their life, getting to play basketball and wear the colors of their hometown.
Nothing to take away. Both teams tonight ran into some really good basketball teams.
Well, again, Webster area and Wagner both have long droughts. They've been waiting to get back to the state tournament for a long time. It was more than 50 years for Wagner. Webster area, a great turnaround this year. They're going to finish 14-9 a year after going 5-16, and they didn't even make it out of the quarterfinals of the region tournament. So there are some senior losses that are going to be tough to overcome, obviously with Mount, Shoemaker, Wick, and McCreary, but some young players, and I think a lot that Coach Leonards can build on.
Yeah, losing the seniors they're going to lose is going to be tough. Hopefully they can continue to find some depth and get a chance to come back and play in the SODAK 16 again.
And as you talk about West Central, this is a team that's going back to state for the second consecutive year, and it's easy to forget with how dominant they've been that it had been a while since they had been back to the state tournament. Last year's trip was their first trip in 24 years. They hadn't been back since 2001. They won their only state championship in 2000.
There was an okay player on that team, I think. Josh Mueller.
Yeah, I hear he did okay in college as well. But they will look to win their second state title, and you would think it could be boiling down to them and the other team we saw here, Sioux Falls Christian. Those two teams met earlier in the season in the Sioux Falls Christian Gymnasium. They played a barn burner then, with West Central picking up a win. I think that kind of, if there were any doubts about how good they were, that one dispelled it. They won 64-55 in the Charger Gym, and that pretty much put to bed any thoughts that they weren't for real.
Yeah, the only thing is, though, they got to win 2 games before
to get
they
there,
can play each other. So,
assuming, of course, they're on opposite sides of the bracket. You never know. Sometimes there's some shenanigans, but I can't imagine they won't be 1 and 2.
They should be 1 and 2 going into the state tournament. We have to win 2 games to play each other. Those other teams, they're not just going to lay down. They're going to the state tournament for a reason, too.
I want to mention, too, that St. Thomas More and Lennox are going to overtime. They just started that. St. Thomas More up 50-49. We'll get you some updates here in our post-game show on the SODAK 16 when we close it out. Shot no good. This one is coming to a close. The number 1 team in Class A remains perfect, and they will get a shot to complete the perfect season and win the first championship in 26 years. 73-39. A 31-point blitzkrieg in the first quarter set the tone, and the Trojans will go back to the state tournament in their first year under longtime legendary coach Dave Hollenbeck. We'll take a timeout, show you the awarding of the championship plaque for the SODAK 16. Get out our St. Cloud State Player of the Game when we return. You're watching the SODAK 16 on the Avera Health Game of the Week on Midwest Sports Plus.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
South Dakota, a state shaped by its people. It's more than a place, it's opportunity waiting to be realized. At South Dakota State University, we turn that opportunity into progress through unbiased research, education that empowers, and a community that lifts each other higher. SDSU drives the future of this state. We're not just here, we're leading with purpose, trust, and impact. This is SD State.
Back to Madison High School. They're giving the award to West Central High School, their qualifier to the state tournament. For the second straight year, the West Central Trojans are on the South Dakota State A boys basketball tournament. 73-39 the final over Webster area in the SODAK 16. Join you back here one final time in our Midwest Sports Plus booth. Zach Borg, Brian Stabner, producer Colin Warren. The legendary Dave Hollenbeck, who won 536 games with St. Thomas More, took them to the state title game 6 times, won 4 titles out west. He's going to go back to Rapid City now. He could even end up facing his former team in the opening round, depending on how that game goes between them and Lennox. And he will be seeking a 5th state title in his first year with the Trojans. One little bit of duty to take care of, and kind of a tough choice for our St. Cloud State Player of the Game. Connor Mebius and Will Cool had phenomenal games. They're such a great combination. Tough choice. We kind of have to stick with Cool because they came out and just blitzed this Webster area team. It was 12-9 at one point. They go on a 22-0 run, and Cool had 15 in the opening quarter, dominating inside with blocks and some highlight reel dunks as well. This one may be the dunk of the year.
Yeah, 15 in the first quarter really got West Central going. Going to finish with 22 on the night. Actually sat quite a bit in the second quarter, didn't play much in the fourth, still getting 22. Affecting the Webster offense with multiple blocks as well. This group right here is going to be fun to watch, and I kind of hoping we get that St. Thomas More matchup. You know, no slight to Lennox, but you kind of sometimes that's something you want to see, is that, you know, West Central's coach going back to face the old team
in Rapid City, no less, as well. Also in this game, I mentioned Mebius could have easily gotten it. Connor Mebius with 19 points. He kind of took over in the second quarter when this game got a little tight. It got within 12 after it had been 24. And then they kind of put their foot down again in the third quarter, make sure it wouldn't get any closer. For the Webster area Bearcats, who were seeking their first trip to state since 1982. They were led by their leading scorer coming into this game, Matthew Mount, with 18 points. Jack Shoemaker with 15 in each of their final high school games. One final time, we want to get you the scores from around the SODAK 16. Again, in our first game of this doubleheader, it was Sioux Falls Christian winning 89-68, the defending state A champs, and second seed moving on to the state tournament. Groton Area defeated Pine Ridge 62-54 in Chamberlain. Cheyenne Eagle Butte is up over Pialuta 63-53, 2 minutes to go out in Sturgis. I mentioned in overtime right now are Lennox and St. Thomas More. Lennox has gone ahead 55-52, but a lot could still happen in that one. They've been going back and forth. It's now 55-54 to that point. So plenty will happen before that one ends. Hamlin is going to go back to state. They're up 63-33 with 2 minutes to go on Rapid City Christian and Chamberlain. Stanley County looks like they're heading to state 47-35 over Flandreau in Miller. And Clark Willow Lakes up 21 at half. Looks like they'll over McCook Central Montrose and Watertown. Looks like they'll go to state. So really only one spot left up for grabs. It should be a fun State A tournament out in Watertown, Brian Stabner.
SODAK 16 coming to a close here. Now we're going to get the real fun part of the year, the full-on March Madness. I'm excited for all the tournaments. I think they're going to be really competitive top to bottom. And there's some that, every league has a couple teams that are going to be at the top, but there's always a surprise team that's going to come out of nowhere.
Well, that boys double A's and A will be out in Rapid City a week from Thursday. The B, as always, is in Aberdeen, as we mentioned a couple times tonight. Girls double A will start on Thursday in Rapid City. The A will be up in Watertown. The B will be in Brookings. That'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Brian, started doing games with you last Thursday. We didn't necessarily have the closest games. We had a lot of fun these last four over the last couple of, a little under a week. It was fun doing these games with you.
Enjoyed being here. Had a blast with you. Excited to continue to watch this basketball season, that's for sure.
Shout out to our terrific crew tonight. Brody Frick, Issa Ibrahim, Miles Eide did a terrific job on the cameras. We had great replays tonight. We had great replays last week, too. We've had great camera crews all season. Colin Warren, our producer, fantastic job out of him. This is not our last basketball broadcast. I think we'll have an announcement coming out soon. We're going to do some work out in Rapid City in a week from Thursday. Not quite sure of the schedule yet. I'll let the announcements come on that, but we'll be doing some work out of the AA tournament coming up here for boys in a little over a week. So we're not quite done with basketball season yet, but for a lot of us, this is our final broadcast. Really want to thank everybody. We've had so many great people working this year. Chad Berger, Cordell Wright, Stephen Marino, have been great producers. Gage Ravalette. We've had a lot of great announcers. Jason Andera, Bert Rymian. I think we also had David Brown was in there. Nate Kading, Todd Schleckaway, Drew Ivory. And there's just too many cameramen, too many production crew to name. Phenomenal job. I think I saw we put over 120 games on air this year for high school basketball. It takes a village to put on that many games. And it was a phenomenal year. I also have to really thank Pat Schlitz, Mike Capel, and Drew Trafton, and the Forum Communications, who've really committed a lot to covering high school athletics. And we also had a lot of college athletics being covered as well on Sioux Falls Live. Can't speak to enough to what Forum Communications has done and what they're putting in to athletics in this area, this region.
An absolute all-star cast. You're flying out there.
Yep, and I could say a lot more, but I think everybody wants to get home right now. I'm getting a few dirty looks. No, I'm just kidding. And I can't thank all of them enough for letting me get this opportunity, because it's been a dream since I was muting my video games as a kid to be a play-by-play announcer. And this has been fun, and I know people say, well, it's only high school sports. Well, to these kids, this may be their only opportunity to ever play on the court. Even if they go to college, they may not get much higher, and we wanted to treat them like they were pros and give them one of the best quality broadcasts they could get, and I think we did that. And I wanted to rise to that occasion. I thank them for giving me their trust to call these games, and look forward to seeing how this will grow. We don't know what the spring and summer seasons will look like, but I'm sure we'll have some more stuff here coming before next football season as well. So one final time for our terrific Midwest Sports Plus crew, I'm Zach Borg. Our finals tonight in Game 1 of the SODAK 16 for Madison. It was Sioux Falls Christian, the defending champs, punching their ticket to state, 89-68 over Wagner. And then in the second game, it was the number 1 unbeaten West Central Trojans defeating Webster Area 73-39. Again, we will have some AA state action out in Rapid City next week. But until then, and for everyone this year who's worked for us, If you've joined us at all season, we thank you for your time and thank you for joining us. We'll see you again later on Midwest Sports Plus. Have a great night, everyone.